The day began with sunlight streaming through the trees, casting dappled patterns on the cobblestone paths of the park. The world seemed to hum with quiet energy, birds singing melodies that blended seamlessly with the gentle rustling of leaves. Alex sat on a worn wooden bench, a blank sketchbook resting on their lap. Their pencil hovered in the air, poised to capture the world around them, yet no inspiration came. The familiar frustration of a creative block tightened in their chest. They glanced around, seeking something, anything, that might spark an idea. A couple strolled by, laughing softly. A child chased a butterfly near the flower beds. It was all picturesque, yet nothing felt right. Alex sighed, their hand falling limply to their side, pencil grazing the edge of the page, but leaving no mark. Nearby, the sound of hurried footsteps disrupted the serene atmosphere. Alex looked up just as someone rounded the corner of the path, camera in hand. The stranger's energy was a stark contrast to the stillness of the park. They darted to and fro, angling their camera toward the sunlight filtering through the trees. Alex watched with mild curiosity as the stranger adjusted their position repeatedly, seemingly in pursuit of the perfect shot. Just as Alex was about to return their gaze to the blank page, the stranger misjudged a step and stumbled directly into their bench.
Oh.
"I'm so sorry," the stranger said, their voice light and slightly breathless. They crouched to pick up Alex's fallen sketchbook. "It's fine," Alex replied, their tone more surprised than annoyed. As the stranger handed the sketchbook back, their eyes lingered on the empty pages. "Artist's block?" they asked, a knowing smile tugging at their lips. Alex hesitated, unsure whether to confirm or brush it off. Eventually they nodded. "Something like that." The stranger extended a hand. "I'm Sam, amateur photographer and professional sunlight chaser." The introduction was so unexpected that Alex chuckled softly before shaking their hand. "Alex. Just an artist, I guess." "Well, Alex," Sam said, stepping back and gesturing to the park. "This place is bursting with inspiration. Have you looked at it through a different lens, literally or figuratively?" Alex tilted their head, intrigued despite themselves. "Not really." "Then let me show you." Without waiting for agreement, Sam gestured for Alex to follow. There was something infectious about their enthusiasm, and Alex found themselves rising from the bench. Sam led them to a spot where the sunlight broke through the canopy, creating golden beams that illuminated the ground. "Look at that," they said, crouching to snap a photo. "Doesn't it feel alive?" Alex stared at the scene, noticing details they had overlooked, the way the light transformed the leaves, the interplay of shadows. "It does," they murmured, their hand itching to pick up the pencil. Sam grinned, standing.
"See?
You just needed a different perspective." For the first time in days, Alex smiled, the edges of their creative block beginning to crumble. As they strolled through the park together, the conversation flowed naturally. Sam talked animatedly about their passion for photography, how they loved capturing fleeting moments that others might overlook. "Light is everything," Sam said, holding up their camera. "It can make or break a picture. The way it shifts, plays, transforms. It's like watching emotions come alive." Alex listened, absorbing every word. They found Sam's perspective refreshing, a stark contrast to their own methodical approach to creating art. "For me, everything starts with structure," Alex said, glancing at their sketchbook. "I need to understand the shapes, the lines. It's like building the bones of a piece before I can breathe life into it." Sam paused, considering this. "So, you're saying you see the foundation first, while I chase the fleeting moments on top of it?" "Something like that," Alex replied with a small smile. They walked further, Sam pointing out interesting angles and natural patterns that Alex hadn't noticed before. A row of trees casting symmetrical shadows. A cluster of wildflowers swaying gently in the breeze. "Look at how the sunlight hits those petals," Sam said, kneeling to frame a shot. "It's like they're glowing from within." Alex knelt beside them, studying the flowers. Their hand moved instinctively, sketching the scene. The pencil strokes came easily now, the creative block melting away. As they worked, their conversation grew more personal. Alex admitted, lately I've felt stuck. Like no matter what I do, it's not enough. My sketches feel empty, like they're missing something I can't name. Sam lowered their camera, their expression softening. I get that. Sometimes, I feel like I'm running from something, you know? Like if I stop moving, I'll get stuck, too. Alex looked at them, surprised. But you seem so free. Confident. Sam laughed lightly, a trace of vulnerability in their eyes. Confidence is just a good cover for chaos. I move around a lot, chasing light, beauty, inspiration. But staying in one place, letting things settle, that scares me. The honesty hung between them, unspoken but understood. They continued walking, their footsteps falling into an easy rhythm. Sam showed Alex a photo they had just taken of the flowers, the light painting them in soft, golden hues. Alex flipped their sketchbook around, revealing a rough but vivid drawing of the same scene. Yours feels alive, Sam said, genuinely impressed. So does yours, Alex replied, their voice quieter. They exchanged a smile, a shared recognition of how their differences complemented each other. For a moment, the world felt smaller, more connected. Before they parted ways for the day, Sam pointed to the setting sun. Tomorrow, come back here. I'll show you what this place looks like in the morning light. It's a whole new world. Alex hesitated, but then nodded. Okay. Tomorrow? As Sam walked away, Alex stayed behind, sketching until the last of the sunlight disappeared. For the first time in a long time, their art felt meaningful again. The next morning, Alex arrived at the park earlier than usual, sketchbook in hand. The air was crisp, and the sunlight had yet to break fully over the horizon. They found themselves looking forward to seeing Sam again, their energy and perspective leaving a mark that Alex couldn't quite define. When Sam appeared, camera slung over their shoulder, they greeted Alex with a wide smile. Perfect timing, Sam said, motioning toward a small clearing where the first rays of light were starting to filter through the trees. Let me show you something. They walked together in comfortable silence until Sam stopped, pointing to the way the light hit the dew on the grass. See how the droplets sparkle? Like tiny prisms. Sam knelt to capture it with their camera. Alex crouched beside them, studying the scene. Alex opened their sketchbook, letting their pencil move freely. The quiet was soothing, broken only by the sound of birds and the occasional click of Sam's camera. But beneath the surface, a tension lingered. As the morning wore on, the ease of their previous conversations began to falter. Alex sensed something unspoken weighing on Sam, their usual vibrant energy subdued. Finally, Alex broke the silence. Something's on your mind? Sam hesitated before sighing. I leave in 2 days, they said quietly, their gaze fixed on the horizon. There's a new place I've been wanting to photograph, and if I don't go now, I'll miss it. The words hung in the air, heavy with finality. Alex didn't know how to respond. They hadn't expected this connection to last forever, but the thought of it ending so soon left an ache they hadn't anticipated. I figured you should know, Sam added, standing and brushing off their jeans. I didn't want to just disappear. Alex closed their sketchbook, their earlier enthusiasm dampened. Thanks for telling me, they said, though their voice was quieter than they intended. Sam glanced at them, sensing the shift. Are you okay? Yeah, Alex replied quickly, but the words felt hollow. The tension only grew as they walked back through the park. Sam, in an effort to lighten the mood, began pointing out potential photo opportunities, but Alex's responses were short and distant. Finally, Sam stopped, their frustration evident. Look, I know this isn't ideal, Sam said, their tone firm but not unkind. But this is who I am. I can't stay in one place too long. It's just not how I work. Alex met their gaze, the vulnerability from the day before surfacing again. And what about the people you meet along the way? Do they just become part of the scenery you leave behind? Sam flinched at the words, guilt flashing in their eyes. That's not fair, they said softly. I don't forget people. But I can't stop moving, Alex. It's how I find meaning. The conversation ended there, leaving an uncomfortable silence between them. When they parted ways, neither said goodbye. Alex walked home with their sketchbook unopened, the weight of unspoken feelings pressing heavily on their chest. The sky was overcast the next day, gray clouds dimming the once vibrant park. Alex sat on the same bench as before, their sketchbook resting on their lap, untouched. The stillness of the world around them mirrored the unease in their chest. They couldn't shake the conversation from the day before. Sam's words echoed in their mind, an insistence on moving, on chasing light and inspiration, regardless of what they left behind. Alex couldn't decide if they admired it or resented it. The sound of approaching footsteps pulled them from their thoughts. Alex glanced up to see Sam standing there, their usual lively demeanor replaced with something softer, almost hesitant. "Hey," Sam said, their voice quieter than usual. Alex nodded in acknowledgement, but said nothing. Sam hesitated before sitting down beside them, leaving a careful distance between them. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence felt fragile, as though a single word might shatter it. "I didn't want to leave things like this," Sam finally said, their tone earnest. "Yesterday, I didn't handle it well." Alex stared at the ground, tracing the grain of the wood beneath their fingertips. "You were honest," they said after a beat. "That's more than most people would be." Sam sighed, running a hand through their hair. "Honest doesn't mean easy. I didn't mean to make you feel like you don't matter, Alex. You do. More than I expected you to." Alex looked at them then, surprised by the admission. There was something raw in Sam's expression, an openness Alex hadn't seen before. "It's not about me mattering," Alex said, their voice steady. "It's about feeling like this connection, whatever it is, matters. Like it's not just something temporary." "It's not," Sam said quickly, their words firm. "I may move around, but that doesn't mean I forget the people who make an impact on me." "You've made an impact, Alex. I don't think I'll ever see the world the same way after meeting you." Alex felt the knot in their chest loosen slightly. They opened their sketchbook and flipped to the page they'd been working on the first day they met Sam. It was finished now, a detailed drawing of sunlight breaking through the trees, inspired by Sam's photography. "I want you to have this," Alex said, holding out the page. Sam took it, their fingers brushing against Alex's. They studied the drawing, a smile breaking through the somberness of their face. "It's beautiful," they said softly. "Thank you." In return, Sam reached into their bag and pulled out a photo, a candid shot of Alex sketching, sunlight illuminating their face. "I want you to keep this," Sam said. "To remember that no matter where I go, you're part of my story now." As they exchanged keepsakes, the sun broke through the clouds, bathing the park in golden light. It felt like a quiet promise, unspoken but understood. When Sam stood to leave, they hesitated, looking back at Alex. "This isn't goodbye," Sam said. Alex smiled, their heart lighter. "No, it's not." And as Sam walked away, Alex opened their sketchbook to a fresh page, ready to create again.